I tested several different knife sharpeners over the years, and this setup right here is my all-time favorite. I reviewed this 4 years ago. It's by the Work Sharp Sharpener company. This is the Ken Onion Edition with the blade grinding attachment. So I'm really excited to say that today it's the announcement that they have. There's going to be a new model of this setup right here that's going to be launching very soon, but I have my hands on the first one, the new tool that you're going to be able to check out and see if it's right for you. So let's get this video started. All right, so check this out. This is the new and improved Ken Onion Edition Elite Mk.2 knife and tool sharpener. All right, let's take a look inside and see what all the new features are. All right, here's a series of belts. Here's a belt. It has some of that green polishing or buffing compound. Let's take this right on out. So it is set up right now with the cartridge right here. So here's the sanding belts. I think these are like 3/4 inches wide. And we have all these different ones that we can switch out. And this right here is going to be one of your best friends. I would say definitely keep this. So whether you store it in this box right here or you store it somewhere else, you're going to want to keep this guide right here. This is very useful, and I keep it with my other sharpener. So you can always check and see whether you have a certain type of knife, and depending on how dull it is, or if it's butchered, or if it just needs some touch up. So you can just see right up here what different recommendations they have. So the way that works, that will slide forward like that, and I'll show you some of the new features here in just a second. So this right here is the main portion of the knife and tool sharpener. So this right here can rotate, which I'll show you in just a second why you'd want to do that. And if you want to take this off, you can put the blade grinding attachment on. So let's take a look at that. So I like this right here. It has a quick guide before you take that out and get to the blade grinding attachment. It just shows you what you want to know about it. So according to the instructions, it's very easy. You just rotate this forward and you can take that off, and then you can put the blade grinding attachment on. Or you can just use this right here to sharpen your knives as well too. We have the instructions. This has some really good tips for how to sharpen your knife. Oh cool, got some stickers. They have a lot of different sharpening solutions too. So these are the two items included in the box. So you have the Ken Onion Edition Knife and Tool Sharpener Mk.2, and then you also have the Ken Onion Edition Blade Grinding Attachment Mk.2. So I'd just say I do love having a quick guide. So instead of going through the booklet, several pages, you can really get a quick overview of this. And there is the blade grinding attachment. You have two different ways you can sharpen your knives and tools. So you can use this right here, which works really well. And then you can also put this on it. And this is a little bit more of a step up. I would say, in my opinion, there are wider belts when you get into this. And then there's a little more free-handed work. So it depends on what you're comfortable doing. Either way, you're gonna get some really sharp knives. All right, here's what it looks like real quick before I put it on. And put that one on right there. We're gonna first take a look at what's new with all this right here, and we're gonna start off by just looking at the power unit itself. So the very first thing I noticed is the way that you can control the speed on here. So now they have a digital display of 7 different levels. So 1 through 3 is for pocket knives, and 4 through 7 is for tools. Check this out. Right now it's on power level 3. So then if you want to up it, you can do it on the fly. So check this out. 4, 5. There's speed 1. Next thing I noticed is this right here. This is the adjustment for the angles. So each click, I don't know if you can hear that, just a faint little click, but it's a nice positive stop. It's a 1/2 degree, so if you're gonna do something at 25 degrees, you go right there. And if you watch while I turn it, these will adjust. So I'm going from 20 to 25. So that goes further out. If I went all the way down to 15, you can see it's tightening in like that. So if you look right here, you can see how that's angled where this one is not. So that allows for thumb studs on your knife. So we're gonna sharpen this pocket knife on this one in just a minute. It's my son Sawyer's pocket knife. You can see it has thumb studs. So this new angle that they did allows for the thumb studs to be sharpened. Where this one right here, it might interfere with it. On the inside right here, these are leather lined right there, so it won't scratch your knife as you're pulling it across. I was watching somebody else's video and they explained how to see how dull a knife is, and they said just carefully go to your thumbnail as I'm just putting that against it real carefully, just making sure I'm not hitting my skin, just to see if this bites into your thumbnail. And this one does not. It's really, you can just tell how dull it is. When you get a real sharp one, when it hits your thumbnail, it doesn't move really hardly at all. So that's what we're hoping to achieve with this. So this section right here, you can see it's for a pocket knife or hunting knife, and you can either determine whether it's dull or trashed. I would say this is pretty well trashed. So first of all, we're gonna start off with the angle of 25 degrees. Turn that to 25 right there. All right, next thing, it shows 3 lights of power. And the belt we want to start with is the P120. So it's 4 important steps when it comes to sharpening your knives on both of these sharpening systems. So first is place, then power, then pull, and then stop. So maybe you can see a little better from this angle right here. So I'm going to place it right there. So then you hit the power button, and then right away you're gonna want to pull it. And then when the tip of the blade gets right in the middle of the belt, then you're gonna wanna stop. One of the things I recommend, if you haven't used this before, maybe grab one of your older knives and test that before using your good knives on this, just so you can get the coordination down of when you start and stop and pull and all those things. Now we're putting the X65 belt on. We're gonna go to the X22. Here's the X4. This is the fine one right here. Just noticing there's one other belt right here. You can see it's a little thinner. It's like 1/2 inch thick, where the other ones are 3/4. This purple one is really extra fine. So if you have a like partially serrated blade or like gut hooks you need to sharpen, this right here will kind of mold into those. So the type of sharpening you're going to get on this is a convex grind, which is a superior, longer lasting type of grind. So yeah, it's kind of interesting right here. You can just see the different types of grinds. So what they explain here is our blade use and sharpness testings have taught us that a convex edge is a superior edge. The smooth radius edge type does not have a shoulder like a flat grind and creates less friction or resistance when cutting. A convex edge provides more steel behind the edge to support it, so the edge stays sharper longer. So first we're going to do a glance test. I don't know if you can just see that shiny edge on it. Then I'm going to do the thumbnail test. Oh man, it just, you can feel it. It's not sliding. Where it hits that spot, it does not want to move. I'm sure if you've been camping, you probably had to cut some paracord. Oh yeah, it's going through nice and fast. All right, then the last test is the paper cut test. Oh man, sometimes it's a little tricky to do, but if you have a sharp knife, it makes it that much easier. So I just want to point out, so when you adjust your angle, this is the old one right here. So it's just not nearly as precision, where this one, just the way it clicks, just very nice. I don't know if you can hear that. I'll get my microphone up close. So if you pop this guide off the top, and then you change the belt, you do that by, that clicks into place. It's a little bit different than the other one, so changing belts is a little bit faster. And then you put the 120 belt on, then we'll go up to number 7. So this actually doesn't need sharpening, but I'm just going to show you, if I were to sharpen it, I would clamp this down, and then you can just go across like that. So I definitely recommend that you keep these 2 booklets right here. These are very handy. So on the very front is the QR code for each one, showing you how to use it. Sometimes if you haven't sharpened something in a while, it's just nice to have that to refer back to. Oh my gosh, I didn't notice that until right now. Check that out. So this is actually signed right here by Ken Onion. That's very awesome. Since I just noticed this right here, now's the perfect time for me to tell you about the first 500 limited edition first production units. If you get one of those, you'll get the signature unit right here. So the first 450 are going to be available if you order these right from the WorkSharp website, and that's going to be on May 13th at 10 a.m. when that's going to be available. And then they're going to have 50 of these at the Atlanta Blade Show. So if you want to get more information on that, you can go to worksharptools.com. And then after June 3rd, that's when these are going to be officially available on the full market. So that'll be places like Amazon, Bass Pro Shop, Cabela's, Menards. So all different types of places. But right now, to get the first ones, you'll want to go to the worksharptools.com website. All right, so now let's put the blade grinding attachment on, and I'll show you some of the new updates on this. So if you look at the old one, it's much easier to adjust it than this. You can see right here, we're going to turn that until we get to 20. Try and do this upside down. So I really like when you get into this one right here, then you go from 3/4 inch belts to 1 inch wide belts. All right, so on this one, we're going to go to speed number 2. See 2 LED lights right there. And then we're going to put the X65 on. So here's one of the other minor upgrades I noticed. So with your thumb right there, you push that in and down to relieve the tension. The older one, it's a little bit smaller, not quite as easy as this one right here. So I like that little upgrade. Just those small details make a big difference. And release the tension. Let's see how that... So here's something else that's new with the tool setup. So you can see how this is right there. You can put it in the middle position, or you can put it in the far position right there. So this right here is going to give you the higher convex grind. In the middle it's going to be medium, and that's going to be a low convex, closer to a flat grind. You can customize this a little bit more to your liking. And just like before, the sharpening is still the same. This is your guide, so you lay it flat because you want to have that knife flat, and then you're going to pull it across. So this distance right here, traveling, seems to throw you off a little bit. This is a new item that they came up with. So this, you can put it right up there, so you can just travel from there to there. It might make it a little bit easier. And then another thing with this, you're not going to use the stop-start technique. So you're going to pull the trigger, and right there is your cruise control. So you're going to just push that, and that button right there is how you turn it off. Or you can put your finger on the trigger and just click it that way. So this is the strap belt. So this could potentially replace my leather strap right here. And it also comes with the green compound. Over the years, I've used this knife right here to cut lemons and limes. These are really small. They're not really great examples, but we'll just see how it works on these. And by the way, I did clean this all up, so I'm not going to eat a lemon with compound on it. Yeah, you can see I cut through those seeds nice and clean. I felt a little resistance, but I'm wondering why that was. I cut through 3 seeds actually. If you ever cut one of these with a dull knife, it's a struggle and it's much more dangerous. So being able to have it just bite in there and slice it is the way to go. Yep, this works awesome. And this also has some of the same features as before, like this slack belt area. So let's say you have like a wood handle that has something that needs to be smoothed out or just reworked a little bit. You can run this and carefully run that across and fix that. Right back here, this is 90 degrees to there. So if you just lightly use light pressure, you can like square up the spline. Let's say you have something that needs to be flat, like a 90-degree angle. If you gently put it up against there, that works for that too. So I'm really excited to see all the changes from the older model to the new model. I think just having the LED dial right there so you can really pinpoint the speed that you want. I could get it pretty close to the same always, but now I know that it's like precise. So now after you've seen this whole video, I want to know what you think about this. Do you have any questions on it, or like to hear what your comments are? Please put them down below and I would be happy to respond. So now I'd like to thank the Worksharp Sharpener Company for sending this out to me so I could be one of the first to have a look at it and test it out, and it definitely passes with flying colors. So if you're interested in seeing some other knife sharpening videos, I'll put a playlist right up here that you can check out. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I have that button right there you can click on, so that way you'll be notified when all my tool reviews go live. So that's it for now, friends. Thanks for watching. See you next time.